I'm Regina. You are you. So, welcome to Conversations with Regina. And we've got a really amazing show today. Oh, my stars. I don't know how amazing it's going to be. That's really kind of up to all of us to start figuring out right now. But let's get the business out of the way. Subscribe to this channel and be notified. If you click the bell, you can get all the notifications about what we're going to do. And where'd everybody go? So anyway, and be sure and like the video. I'll be darned. And we're brought to you by Ray's Roast Coffee. I'm drinking a cup of Copa de Esperanza from Costa Rica. And this is an excellent coffee. We're almost out of it, I think. Oh, my stars. I copped a bag of it from one of the places that sells the coffee. And so I've put it on my shelf here and I've been drinking it and loving it. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about abundance and my counter must be off. There's more of you here than I think. Anyway, I wanted to talk about abundance and prosperity a little bit today. And do I necessarily mean in a financial, it all tied together, whether it's money we've got abundance of or whether it's just love we've got abundance of. The more that I study about things, the more that I find out that space between you and me is filled with energy. And that's the current word out in the scientific market these days is that everything is filled with energy, and that we're probably the least important things that are going around. There's energy and vibrations, and it's how we create those energies within ourselves to match the energies that receive back. And so that all comes down to abundance, gratitude, prosperity. I started getting really receiving a lot of abundance and prosperity when I learned about gratitude and how just to be grateful for everything in my life. So these are just really basic things in a spiritual nature. So I want to do a reading right now from the Book of Joy, and it's out of a chapter on generosity. Generosity, we are filled with joy, and this is so much. This little passage here that I'm going to read is so much about what I want to talk about today that we have to really give it away to receive it. And so, compassion and generosity are not just lofty virtues. They are at the center of our humanity, what makes our lives joyful and meaningful. Yes, there are many, many, many ugly things, the Archbishop explained, but there are also some incredibly beautiful things in our world. The black townships in South Africa are squalor-ridden, and because of despair and disease, including HIV, children are orphaned. In one of the townships, I met a mother abandoned children off the streets. She got nothing. She's got nothing much in the way of resources, but the minute she began doing that, help began coming for her to carry out her work of compassion. We were fundamentally good. The aberration is not the good person. The aberration is the bad person. We are made for goodness. And when we get opportunities, we mostly respond with generosity. She has got nothing, but that didn't stop her. And she had about 100 street children she picked up in a 3-room house. And before long, people got to know about it who were able to say, okay, we will help. We'll build a little dormitory for them. Others said, we will give you food. And hey, presto, she had a home and she's becoming a legendary figure. But she wasn't driven by wanting fame or anything of the kind. It was just that she saw these children and her maternal instinct said, no, this won't do. And so, yes, I mean, one shouldn't pretend that people don't get overwhelmed by the sense of impotence, but do what you can where you can. So, so to me, all that abundant stuff and prosperity started coming in to my life when I started giving away. Years ago, when I first retired, when I first transitioned, I figured that the way that I wanted to give back to the community was simple. I just wanted to give something. So I got together with this other friend of mine and we came up with cooking a community dinner at Thanksgiving. And so, the week before Thanksgiving, we put on this spread and we got, oh gosh, 50, 60 people to show up and we fed them. And then we did that again the next year. And then we started getting a little bit bigger than our britches could handle. And we started doing a barbecue. Well, the barbecue was a lot of fun, and we fed a bunch of people, but oh, my stars. And then she got a job in a different town and we weren't able to hook up anymore. And for me to do that, I need cooks. So anyway, it was really a fun thing, very well received. And I have never had a better feeling in my entire life than to just give stuff. And that started me on this journey of giving stuff away. When I had the coffee shop, I considered myself very wealthy and I was just barely able to keep the doors open. And I'm like thinking I'm the wealthiest person in this town because I've got all this. And I can give stuff away. And people would say, Regina, how can you stay in business when you give me a cup of coffee every once in a while? And I'd say, because I give you that cup of coffee because I want to. And they would just, and then they would leave. Oh gosh. But anyway, I really felt good from that. I was abundance and prosperity and all those things. I just looked up the meaning of prosperity and it's kind of cool. And see if I can find it again really fast. A successful, flourishing, or thriving condition. That's all prosperity is a thriving condition. It goes on to say, especially in a financial respect. But, this is the other thing that I've been working on here of late, is trying to get set up to, you know, to be able to receive the gifts of life, and to change my financials. And so, oh mercy, the they have been trying to tell me that I have to get into the spirit of giving before I can get into the spirit of receiving. And when I receive, be open to the reception. You know, when I would give somebody a cup of coffee and they would argue with me, and I would just say, you know, I'm not taking it back. I'm not accepting your money in the cash register. And they would always put the money, you know, that's accepting a gift back and putting the money in the tip jar. You know, it's a cool deal. And I don't know. I'm like so distracted. Oh my, we've got all kinds of people here now. Now I'm starting to feel better. It's extremely hot in here today, and I don't know why. Hey, I think I should check in with the room here. We got Casey and Christy, and Simone is here. Hi, Simone. And now we've got Louise here too. Hi, Louise. How are you doing? Simone, gratitude always comes back to you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And as does, you know, that whole giving thing always comes back to you too. Well, especially when you know, it's in the, you know, the right framing of it all, you know, the compassion of giving, or just giving for giving's sake. So Casey's going off here. Hang on, the nerd in me is about to rage. There's the anime that I love that holds a one particular value, and it's a virtue that I hold fast to ever since I saw it. And we type. And so anyway, I look forward to what Casey's always going, you know, because Casey is like on the ball. And two, humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. This is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange, and you must give something of greater value. Interesting. So that gets kind of back into the old potlatches up here in the Northwest. You know, the coastal tribes did a thing of potlatches, and I don't really know very much about it, but the chief would give his wealth away every year or whatnot, and it was a cool deal, great gesture. And the word karma pops up. Wow, kind of like the golden rule. Bit about karma. Yeah. I get that. So you know, what I was trying to get to here before I checked in with everyone was how we can change our attitudes and then change our prosperity and abundance, you know, by becoming giving souls we change that whole perspective about, what we've got. We become grateful. We start giving away. Yesterday, I went to this meeting and the subject got to be tithing. And to me, tithing is kind of a bad word. I don't like it. And because it brings of a particular church that requires a 10% tithe. Which I find to be, none of my business, truly, but it's when you got to do something, when you're forced into do something, it seems wrong to me. And I haven't got much, y'all know I'm not much of a churchy person. So anyway, rapidly moving along. So they were suggesting maybe that I should tithe to some organization a little percentage. And it doesn't have to be 10%. It could be anything that I can afford. And being on a fixed income, basically, I can't afford much, And so in talking about this, I finally started coming around a little bit. So I could pick who I wanted to tithe to. And so then I said, well, I think I'll tithe to like the Trevor Project a little bit. And then upon further reflection, I thought, well, maybe my local food bank could use a little tithing too. And so then, I'm doing, and this is supposed to open me up to receiving as well. And but when we do things for that, I just like the joy of giving. And so I don't like to, and that's kind of the problem with tithing for me is I like open myself up to having a reason for doing something, when really all I want to give for is to make me happy. What a conflict that is. Wow, that just came to mind. I am like shocked that by my thought there. So the idea of my giving is to make me happy, and I don't have to I don't want to tithe because that means that I have a goal in mind. But my goal in mind by giving something is to make me happy, and so that makes about as much sense as anything. There's just that resistance because of that word tithe. I hope you all understand that I don't have the answers. I only come here to talk about this stuff because it's in my conversations during the week. And I appreciate the things that you say back to me. And I hope you understand the things that I'm trying to instill in just, here we are. This is our lives. And these are the things that I'm working for. And I hope you're working along there beside me. And trying to make our lives better. And so let's check in, because I see a bunch of new faces showing up. So Valine came. Hi, sweetheart. How are you doing today? Oh, I love this. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. So I saw Jessica Dean here as well. Hi, Jessica. Good to see you today. And how's hi? I gotcha. I gotcha. My late partner was the one who taught me to be giving. So how would you like me to call you? To be called. It's good to see you here today, but how would you like me to call you? Something short and amen. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Good. Thanks, Simone. Ash, does that work? And what's Christy got going here? Rather than tithe, I like to figure out how much it would be over the time period and pay a lump sum if that's possible. I don't know if it would work for everyone, but it does for me. Yeah, if it works for you, in my opinion, Christy, it would be okay. Ash, it is. Ash, it is. Oshavayahu. Ashavayahu. I'll try. I'll try. But thank you for the phonetics there. Well, we've got a reading coming up about the time, the volunteering the time, because we don't always have the cash. But one of the people, and this brings up a thing that the purveyor of the original story was talking about in the lecture that I was listening to. Well, she was telling a story back when she was a poor hippie, and this all was starting to form for her, and she was down to her final $3 and trying to feed kids and whatnot off of this $3 that she had, and she decided to give 30 cents of it away, 10%. And she put 10% of her $3 in something, and when she got home, her partner had gotten a job and paid, and so that started it all off for them, and so anyway, that's the kind of thing that I would. So it's all about that energy that we put out there, and then it gets reflected back on us. That's what is between us all, is this energy. And when we put out negative energy, it's brought back to us in a negative way. You walk into a room and you're fearful and shy and whatnot, and people pick up on it right now. You walk into that same room with confidence and flair, and that's what's brought back to you, or at least that's been my experience. And I'm like trying to figure out what exactly you mean here. Yes, they need help in changing their attitudes. I mean, none of this comes easy. None of this comes easy. I've noticed here myself, and part of the reason why I get back to all this is because I'm just questioning so much of late, and it all seems stalled, and it's because of my energy that, because I have kind of slipped. Oh my God, where? Now I'm catching on to where you were at. So I love Randy Newman. I on my recently added playlist, I've been listening to a lot of Randy Newman lately. Some of his old stuff, his early stuff from the 70s, is kind of odd. So anyway, uh what I can house certain pastors for a tithe, but live in a house bigger than mine and my neighborhood. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. I'm so glad that somebody else said that besides me. And to me, it's they should be given away. Like what was that one guy who wouldn't let the people into his church during the hurricane? What was it, Katrina or something? And wouldn't house the people who were getting blown away. I don't know if it was Katrina or some other hurricane down there in the South, but that's what karma is all about, right, Simone? And we don't need to forgive them. Karma takes care of it. But that's a whole nother day. Oh, you guys, here we go. But anyway, let's get back on track. Let me get back on track. And for me, like I say, it all started with gratitude, was how I started kind of changing my life. And I've been noticing lately that I really have not been meditating on my gratitude very much, and it's been kind of a botheration for me, and so all these various things have stalled out, and you know and so I'm just trying to get it all back together and create this spirit of abundance and prosperity and gratitude and the uh, giving to raise my vibrational energy um, to a point that's good for me, and to kind of clear up some of the what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, I can't think of it right now, but yeah. So anyway, this is not about religions. It's not about anything other than our own personal spiritual growth. And because I really don't care about churches and all that bullshit. It's just bullshit to me. So I don't know. I don't know. Oh my God, dead airspace, the pregnant pause. Um, anyway, that is what we're talking about today. So, are you all feeling abundant? Are you all prosperous, or what? I mean, how do you feel about your life today? That's kind of my question now. Um, a lot of us don't have all that much, and to me, with our prosperity and abundance, because we do have a lot. I mean, I have a lot of love to give, and I try to do that here on Wednesdays and the rest of the time, because sometimes that's what I've got to give is a smile and a little empathy, a little compassion, a little love. All those things count in that giving to me. And I hope that the world, the energies around it, see it as that too. Did you say I was pregnant? Yeah, yeah. I didn't think I said that, Simone. I think I said I was prosperous. I can't believe you asked that question. It's really kind of a personal matter. I would be the first 70-year-old pregnant. Oh, I am just living, no more, no less. I'm grateful that you're living. Get back into a routine. That's good. Well, this is food for thought, Christy. Um, you know, if we're looking at it as an attitudinal um, thing, the okay, my attitude says I'm prosperous and abundant, and take you for example in my community here, and you're not feeling that way, and so um, what I'm trying to establish is that it's an inside job. It's like happiness is an inside job. So is the prosperity and abundance. We can look at it as our glass is half full or our glass is half empty. What's it going to be? And that's kind of the way I see it. Everything has to do about the way we feel about something and not so much about what other folks think. They can be examples to us and guide us, but it really comes for us to change our attitudes about prosperity and abundance is the way I see it. It's like I can read what the Dalai Lama says about generosity, and I can understand, but the Dalai Lama and I are on two different levels. And so what the Dalai is trying to get me to do is to bring my level up to theirs, but they're not trying to change me or the equality, it's like he's the inspiration. Um, you know, I hope that makes sense to a certain degree. Um, Pregnant with abundance? Oh dear. So I missed this one. I'm a greater period of now than I have ever known. Here we go. Allowing to do things I haven't been able to do. Some things I'm just now redeveloping after my husband's passing. Sorry to hear about your husband. I love what you're saying here. Wonderful. Because, when my partner passed and I was in the grief process, that did growth wise than anything ever had impacted me before. And I came out of that understanding more about love and gratitude and all those things, those spiritual kind of things that help me be who I am today. And nice. Yeah. This is what I'm mostly pregnant with. Pauses. Well, Sarah showed up. Hi, Sarah. How are you today? Hey, Zepha Beeblebrox is here. Hi, Beeble. How are you? Hello, Dolly. Oh, you guys. So anyway, yeah. So life is good. Life is always good, regardless of how shitty a day it is. Did I say that? Oh, my stars. Anyway, a lot of him and Han here as I start running down. Hi, Regina. I'm bored and also bored. Oh, that could be taken several different ways. So I'm the last straw. You're bored. And so, I think I'll go talk to Regina. I'm glad you're here. I am truly glad you're here, people. I love it when you show up and we sit here and make no sense whatsoever. And, I actually, Simone was telling me how difficult this whole abundance and prosperity thing was going to be, but I think we're all pretty much on the same page here. I don't know. I kind of enjoy talking about things that are tough concepts, and I wish I knew more. You know what I mean? I wish I knew more. I wish I had more to give. I wish all these different things and had all the answers and whatnot. But then I would miss that whole journey to get to the answers, because the real thrill for me is asking these questions, and talking about this and bringing it up and sharing my thoughts with you all is so this is what I'm talking about. Being able to be here with all of you brings me prosperity. That is my truth, and now obviously it's Casey's truth. And we're talking about abundance and prosperity, and it has been kind of an arousing conversation because we're talking about it in what it takes to, and what it really is, and how can we achieve abundance and prosperity. And really, we already have it in our lives, and it's just being able to recognize it for what it is. You have to learn the lessons before you achieve enlightenment. So true. And the more lessons that I've learned, the more that I question and the more answers I need. When I started gaining knowledge, I started understanding many answers I didn't have. And the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know anything. And so that's really, I think, where prosperity and abundance comes in, is because with the more questions I ask, the more I understand how much I really have. And I hope that you all feel that as well. Of course, I think part of it is an age thing too. And oh, look at this. Actually, I only had to pay $12.95 for my. Where did you get it for $12.95? That's so funny. Ash has got something going. There's knowledge and there's knowing. They aren't the same. One you have, the other you live. Amen. I like that. Oh, Christy, good one. Good comeback. No flashlights were harmed in making my enlightenment. Oh, you guys are killing me. Oh, mercy. I love you guys. Half of us are like being really serious and whatnot, and the other half is keeping it all light, and there's a certain beauty in all of that. Oh, no, you be silly. I'm perfect with that. We don't always have, that's part of life too. And part of the good part of life is the fact that we can laugh at ourselves and enjoy life and have smiles and laughter right along beside all the heavy stuff. I need to travel to obtain my enlightenment. It helps, but I don't know. There's so much. Uh-oh. Let's see Plato here. When I realized analogous Plato's allegory of it was to obtaining the Bodhi, I have not ceased to be amazed at its universe. Well, I'm not familiar with much of any of that. Cool. And Should I sue them for overcharging me? Would that be enlightened to do? Oh dear. Well, I'll let you take that up with Christy. But I might hesitate to sue right off the get-go. I I Yeah, I understand that that's a Buddhist concept. I also do business with Bodhi leaf coffee traders. And in fact, months ago on one of our shows, we toured their facility in Southern California. And you know, it was one of our fun shows where young Tim took us around and we did a coffee tasting and all kinds of fun things. And let's sue everybody on the planet. What? Oh, we are digressing. I have achieved nirvana. Also, Pearl Jam. Oh, dear. Oh, you guys, all these ways of attaining enlightenment. That would be um, a good name to go along with nirvana, would be enlightenment, the band Enlightenment. But seems to me Ray Wiley Hubbard had a song. What was the name of that song? A, enlightenment, B, endarkment, hint, there ain't no C, was the way the song went. Of course, I'm probably the only Ray Wiley Hubbard fan here. Oh gosh, can you get there by way of chocolate? Oh my gosh, chocolate definitely helps. I'm out of control here. I'm leaving it all to you guys. Oh my. Oh my. Here we go. It's all slipping away today. I apologize to all you first time listeners. Oh, please now. Let's not be harsh. I don't need to be sued. Oh, yes. Let's do another reading out of this same book. Thanks, Casey. Good. Good. So you were talking about time. There are ways to give even beyond our time and our money. And again, this is out of the Book of Joy. There are ways to give even beyond our time and money. Jimpa explained that in Buddhist teachings, there are three kinds of generosity: material giving, giving freedom from fear, which can involve protection, counseling, or solace, and spiritual giving, which can involve giving your wisdom, moral, and ethical teachings and helping people to be more self-sufficient and happier. This was, of course, what the Dalai Lama and the Archbishop were giving all week long. It's there in front of our eyes, the Archbishop said. We have seen it. The people we admire are those who have been other regarding. who, even in the midst of a lot of hard work and so on, when they want to speak with them, they have a way of making you feel that at that precise moment, you are the most important thing they have to deal with. We don't have to bring in religion. I mean, it's a secular thing. Companies that are caring of their workers are more successful now that they could say, well, we pay them so much and that's the end of our concern for them. Yes, well, okay, do that. And your workers will be workers who say, I work my shift from a certain time to a certain time and I finish. But when they have experienced that, you care about them as people, you ask after them, you ask after their families, or at least have someone in your company whose business is looking after their welfare as people. It does increase productivity. I don't know what other evidence we want that would tell us that the caring corporation, the caring person almost always are the ones who do well. In fact, do very, very well. And the opposite is true as well, which brings to mind something else I saw in the news yesterday. And I was thinking about my friend Casey, because she recently started working for this company. It's the second largest employer in this country. And the owner of the company is the richest man in the world. And one of their workers got fired by an email produced by an algorithm because he had tried to do his job good because it was an undeliverable package, and he was unceremoniously let go for no particular reason other than the algorithm saw that it took him longer to do his job than some of the other delivery people. And you know, wow, I can't believe that. That something that a company would treat its employees that well. I hope that we all understand that small businesses need support. And yeah, it might cost us $1 or $2 more, but we need caring employers. We need to be people that are conscious of a soul. Orinda, are you still here? Well, it's nice to see you. Oh. So anyway, back to the whole Amazon thing is they have become so large during this pandemic that it's just crazy, and they're projected to be the largest employer in our nation pretty soon. They've refused to unionize, and so the workers there have absolutely no power or whatnot. It's like this man had been a good employee, and then an algorithm got rid of him. And that scares me to a certain extent. Our generosity should include small businesses and trying to stay away from those big corporations. I'll tell you what, it's difficult here where I live to find businesses that is closed. I can sit here and order something off of Amazon. 3 days later, it's going to be delivered. and you know, even if I go down to the hardware store and order something from there, it might take a week before I get it. And or are they ordering it from Amazon? I don't know. And it's a tough here I got Casey to respond. So let us support my friend Casey's comic strip. So if you post your link, and then we can all copy that again and amen. Amen. Algorithms. Oh, Louise. Yeah, it will get there. You know, you build it and they will come. That's what I keep telling myself with my fledgling little channel here. You build it and they will come. I just got to keep, you know, here or then I have days where we all get out of control and I got nothing new to say and oh my stars, who's ever going to subscribe to this? And it's just poor little old me. I need to get a guest again, do stuff, pick the pace up a little bit, and but it's summertime and I'm really busy right now, and I don't know why. I tell you. Oh, look at this. Now, paste that. Copy and paste that someplace so you've got that. Excuse me while I do it myself. If I can. Oh, it doesn't let, yeah, from where I'm at. Huh. It'll be okay. I know where I'll do it. Okay, I got it. So what was I talking about? Was I still on Amazon? God dang, did you just see that? I completely got lost. Oh, I think we were talking about my preparation. I was talking about my lack of preparation for these. So yeah, sometimes it tells and although I thought we had a good conversation for the most part about abundance and prosperity and you know, all the other things that it entails. I mean, it's a feeling. It's our spiritual being, so to speak. To me, abundance and prosperity has got absolutely nothing to do with money. And you know, it has to do with love and compassion. You know, love everybody, serve everybody, remember God, and tell the truth. And the truth of it is I don't always love everybody. I've just got a long ways to go, and I'm doing the best I can. You know, and then we get into the 4 agreements and always do your best. Don't take it personally. Don't make assumptions. And what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? I always have a graphic that I make for this show to pull up, and I've never figured out quite how to do it. So love yourself. Is that it, Darrigan? How are you doing, sweetheart? I haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you. I know. How do we get everybody unionized? They talk about making our country great again. Well, bring the unions back and do I miss the work I was doing before getting into coffee? That's a funny question, Beeble. I do and I don't. A lot of it was pretty strenuous. I would get dropped off or hike. I've actually hiked 13 miles up into the wilderness area to walk a mile or two in the river and then have to hike back out all in the same day. Do I miss doing that? You bet I do. I could no more do that today. So I guess that I miss being outdoors more, but on the other hand, I don't. It's kind of a conflict between the old and the new, Regina. Because the new one is 70 years old and almost 71, and I just don't have the strength and everything that I did when I was 50. I truly enjoyed what I did. When I go out and walk my dog along the river, I think about my time in the mountains and walking streams always. It's part of what makes me it's what makes my shows with Lara so enjoyable. And there's a couple of people around town here that I've used to work with, and I always like engaging them in stories about work, back in the day when we were all younger and could go walk the rivers. In the end, I was basically sitting in my office and compiling numbers and statistics and whatnot. And do I miss that? Not really. Not once have I ever gone to the count of the fish through the dams and whatnot. And I was doing that constantly. And it is what it is. I just don't know. So I hope that answers your question. Fish biology was a magical thing. It's also a very frustrating thing. Walking here through this town a year ago, right after we had a flood, I was able to see how the flood had changed the river. And then a month or two afterwards, here comes the Army Corps of Engineer, and they're like putting the river back into the old channel and doing all these things, cleaning all the large woody debris out of the river and whatnot. And it just did nothing but infuriate me, because I had spent all this 20 years of being a fish biologist trying to get the Chinook salmon reintroduced into these rivers, and the steelhead, to protect the indigenous steelhead, and bring back these fish that were all extirpated, and oh my stars. And then to have another agency that actually employs fish biologists to say that the river is nothing but a water transport system, and we don't really care, as it speeds through this town and doesn't slow down long enough to seep into the groundwater, and all these different things that are part of restoring fish habitat and restoring fish to these rivers, and everybody's working against each other. And to me, that's really frustrating, and shows why in another 50 years this planet will not be habitable by human beings. And so, you know, it's our choices. It's the choices that we make, and that we allow others to make on our behalf, that are scary to me. You know, I brought it up to some of the powers that be about the river, and was just basically said, you know, you can't do anything about it. Doesn't matter what you think. And so anyway, let's go back to the chat room. I see that feel kind of like I got on my soapbox. Biden wants to create good union jobs, he's said so many times, and then he doesn't do anything to provide them. Oh, there again, what do you got going? Well, I'm doing well, thanks. I'm just listening. Good wisdom, keeping cool. Good to see you today. Here we go. Ash, what do you got? Is being a being all that a universe qualified? Perhaps it's better that I never attained one. You know, that's funny. I said that in a meeting once, and everybody turned on me, or something very similar. I didn't realize that I was in the meeting with a bunch of upper management people, and I thought they were just people like me, but I was wrong. Oh, you have a dog too. I figured maybe you might miss out, but yeah, I could see where long hikes at 70 wouldn't be appealing. You know, I did Bloomsday here a couple of months ago. I think what was the first weekend in May, and we did 8 miles that day. And that was really all I really wanted to do. And it wasn't walking down the middle of the stream, thank God. Yeah, I have to take my dog for a walk almost every day. We're lucky if we get a mile to 2 miles in. But when it's hot, I have to wait until dark almost before we can go outside and be that active. And even last night, it was still 80 degrees or 85 when we finished it at dark. And it was all that my dog wanted in life. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about right there. You know, you can't even, you know, the only steelhead you can fish for in Washington and keep are a hatchery steelhead. If it's got an adipose fin, you've got to let it go. So, yeah. Yeah, was there salmon down there too in Orange County? I know they went as far as south as the Sacramento River, but I don't know about further. Coke is trying to buy up all the water and make people pay for water. Yeah, yeah. What we had a big company up here in the neighboring town that had started to put in a water processing plant to sell bottled water with that whole town's water supply, and the citizens came together and ran them out of town before they took over, before they even got started building. And it was such a good thing. Well, thank you. I appreciate your kind words there. You know, somebody wrote me a question about coffee the other day, and I actually answered back in a scientific, knowledgeable way. So it's funny. Sometimes I actually know what I'm talking about. It looks as though I have to let my dog outside. Oh dear. Hang on just a second. I'll be right back. Come on, dude. Go, go. Now you all know that I didn't get all dressed up for today. Well, I think climate change and collapse is really, brought home last week when we're at 122 degrees above the 60th parallel, for an extended number of days. And still our forecast down here is for like in between 95 and 105 every day for the next week. And it's still a little early for that. I mean, it's been kind of cloudy today, but it's still just hot as blazes out there. I mean, yeah, back to that water issue, we shouldn't have to pay for that water. A lot of times, what these companies are doing is taking the same tap water and that you have at your house and putting it into bottles and charging you for it, where the city is already charging you a pittance for the amount of water you use. And so what's the difference? I recycle bottles and just fill water up and let it sit in my refrigerator for a day, and hell with buying bottled water. We are not doing the planet any good by using those plastic bottles because they don't deteriorate. So let's quit buying bottled water. But that's a whole nother show. Not in the Yes, history is so cool. I was never a big history fan. And then I started paying attention to ancient history. And when I lived in oh God, someplace, I think in Idaho at first, I kind of started paying attention to the local history of certain areas that I've lived. And I have just found that to be fascinating. Local history, in some of these rural areas, it's just really kind of cool. And the other day I was leaning in somebody's window, my good friend, and she had this book that was written by this dude that had drifted up this way, and this was in 1870 something, and he was kind of an outlaw, and he ended up writing this book about trapping his life for 1 year, trapping beaver and whatnot. And it was just totally fascinating. I have the book. I'm still only read about maybe a quarter or half of it. And it's out at the roastery. And so when I'm roasting coffee, sometimes I take the time when the machine's warming up to read. But interesting. That's interesting. How do you know so much about Coca-Cola? Oh, Regina, you added words to what I said, and Biden promotes alternative energy and environmentally friendly jobs. It's part of it, but the GOPs oppose it. I did, but I also think that, they could be doing more for you and I. I certainly voted for the man, and I'm not a conservative in any way, shape, or form. Sorry if I misinterpreted. Oh, I hope oh dear. I do not in any way, shape, or form. Oh, that hurts my feelings. Wow. So, oh dear me. Interesting. Well, am I the only one confused by what just happened? No, I think I'm confused too. I've never been called one of those. So, anyway, I love history. Yes. I hope so too. I'll have to talk to her later. I don't know. I don't know what, you know, um, which let's talk about this for a couple of seconds. Because I try not to get very political on this show. I don't mind talking about climate change and whatnot, but one thing I will say is I detest that son of a bitch, and I have never, and I mean 45 Trump, do not like the man at all. Got nothing good to say about the bastard. And but you know, but I can say whatever. I sometimes I don't think that the corporate Democrats are a whole lot in our favor. I mean, Biden has done a lot for transgender peoples, and I appreciate that, but I am more of inclined to think that generally they're still controlled by the corporations, and I'm just going to let it go at that. And so I get a chance to be critical if I want to be. So anyway, I guess this is yes. So I don't know. And yeah, love everybody. So maybe this is a good time to drop off. So yeah, I'm sorry it went that direction. I am speechless. I'm just speechless with all that. So I apologize. So yeah, wow. Thank you, Simone. I need that right now. And Bebo, thank you. Thank you, guys. Let's call it a day. What do you think? I'm like struggling. I'm speechless. I thought we had a pretty good show up to that. So anyway, I love you all. You all mean the world to me. So thank you for coming, and have a good day. Love you all. Bye-bye, and take care. And with this, it's time for our little outro. So you all take care now, you hear? And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.